In Senegal, Africa, they speak primarily three languages: Wolof, Arabic, and French. I had the chance to talk to two brothers from Dakar, Senegal, to ask them what the function of these three languages are and how it affects life in the urban city.
My name is Amadou, and he's my brother Mustafa. And we're from Senegal. We've been living in this country for almost 8 years. Wolof is the main language in Senegal. About maybe 40% or something like that speak like Wolof in Senegal. So it's the most, Wolof people are the number one, they are the most people in Senegal, and they're the strongest, most powerful people in Senegal. So yeah, pretty much everybody speak Wolof in Senegal. And after Wolof, we speak French.
In Senegal, like what my brother said, Wolof is the first dialect there, and then after that, Tukula, Jola, Sere, and so and so. But most of the people, they don't speak like very good Wolof. Like for example, Gambia, they speak really good Wolof, but the way we speak Wolof is totally different.
I'm just gonna say a word like basic, somebody like Nanga Def. And when I say Nanga Def means how are you? Nanga Def. And I'm fine. I'm fine. Mangi Firek. I'm fine. Yeah.
If I wanna say what's your name, like I'm gonna say Nakanga Tudu. Nakanga Tudu mean what's your name, and you have to say back Mangi Tudu. Mangi Tudu, so and so.
How about French? Talk about French. How do you use French? In what circumstances?
French is, we use French when you go to school. Like that's the language we speak. Like, but we don't speak French when we're in class, because when we're in class we speak Wolof together with friends, But when the teachers speak to us, we speak French, And the government speak French. The news, they speak French, But French is so the French language is very strong. We mix French now with the Wolof. Like my brother said that now that in Senegal, a lot of people don't speak good Wolof because of the French. Because especially in Dakar, like a lot of people mix the Wolof and the French. Now, like my generation and my brother's generation and the younger generation, they don't speak good. Especially the younger generation, they don't speak good Wolof. Like I speak better Wolof than the younger generation, because French, is getting a lot, stronger there. Everybody's more French, so they mix the French and the Wolof, So, but if you go inside Senegal to other different cities, not Dakar, but if you go to different cities, people speak better Wolof there.
Do you use Arabic just by itself ever, or is it always a mixture?
Well, no. The only time I have to use that is like when I'm praying, So after that, I don't really use it much, but or when I'm praying or when I'm going out of the house, I have to say some prayer, and then when I'm coming back to the house. So that's the only time I have to use it.
Le lion rouge a rougi, le dompteur de la brousse, dedans se délasser, laissé par les ténèbres, soleil se met ce soir. Debout frères, voici la flûte rassemblée, de fer, le risque mais le Sénégal est debout. Nous sommes la c'est la source, et nous sommes la c'est la forêt. Salut Afrique, mais.